Hi, this is Bree. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch my super brief horoscope predictions for the United States, as well as the Fed chart, the NASDAQ chart. What I'm going to show you is what happens when Saturn and Uranus square. Also, when Uranus conjuncts that North Node, which is coming up. I'm also going to take you back to the Great Depression with the USA chart and show you what happened when Saturn and Uranus squared, when Uranus conjunct the North Node, and to the dot-com bubble. Also, Saturn and Uranus square, and Uranus conjunct the North Node. And in the 2007 to 0809 real estate crash, Saturn and Uranus was opposite. And I'll also show you Uranus conjuncting that North Node. Now, I do want to say, and I'll explain this in better detail. I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible because I really don't want to lose any viewers. I want you to know that, and you probably already do know, 2023 is going to be so much worse than 2022. And I know you're feeling it, and I know there's a lot of videos that are telling you this, and they're not lying. I'm going to show you why it's going to be so much worse and why, hopefully, why you should have took precautions to protect yourself when I put out the on my blog, the December 2021 blog, which I'm going to hook up to my July, August, and September 2022 blog that I'm putting up now with this video. So I'm not going to put everything on that blog for the 3 months. A lot of it at the end of this video is not going to be on that blog. So you are going to want to stick around to see what I've got to show you, because it is going to be a depression. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling forget recession. I'm calling depression. And I do realize that the local media stations and CNN, and they may call recession probably, or they'll say it's coming or something. I'm not sure. I don't watch them. But make sure you get your news from a reliable source. Reliable sources are out there. Otherwise, you're going to be hit like a deer in the headlights when everything goes down. Okay, I am going to take myself off of up here because I want you to see this. And if you have any questions on what I'm saying or explaining, send me an email. I'll be happy to address them. All right, be right back. Okay, now we know that the Great Depression did start in, I think October 28th, 1929. And when that started, Uranus was in the sign of Taurus. The North Node was in the sign of Taurus. Now, as the North Node went into the sign of Aries, Aries speeds things up. Aries is a lot of energy. So it wants to be first, and it just speeds things up. So this was a lunar eclipse, April 2nd, 1931. If you want to know the dates, please look up here. And we have a lunar eclipse, full moon lunar eclipse, 12 degrees Libra, conjunct the South Node, opposite the North Node, opposite Uranus. And Uranus was conjunct the North Node. Uranus and Saturn did form a square aspect. So with that said, we know how the Great Depression really went into high gear. All right, now I'm going to show you the dot-com bubble. Okay, now the dot-com bubble did begin in 98 when Saturn squared Neptune. Now, I am speeding it up a little bit when it really grew wings in November 7th of 1999. We can see we had a new moon, 15 degrees Scorpio, opposite Saturn, 13 degrees Taurus, 5th house. Uranus, 12 degrees Aquarius, 2nd house. Now, I want to point, and it's coming into a conjunct with the South Node opposite the North Node. I want to explain to you. Uranus at this time, November 7th, 1999, again was in the 2nd house. Today, it switched. It's in the 5th house in the sign of Taurus. Saturn is in the 2nd house in the sign of Aquarius. And Uranus is getting ready to conjunct the North Node this time, opposite the South Node. We also notice that the new moon is also square Uranus, opposite Saturn. So we had a lot of things going on in both the Great Depression and in the dot-com bubble, as well as the real estate bubble that I'm going to show you next. I did want to explain the North Node is in Leo at this time. Now, when you see, and always pay attention to the North Node. When you see the North Node in Leo, it means the high point of the business volume has been reached. Okay, so when you see it in Taurus, that means that it's a transition period. It's moving from above normal to below normal. And from Taurus, it goes into Aries. Boy, it really gives it wings. It just magnifies it. It goes fast. I mean, just super fast. And we're going into a recession, depression. And again, I'm calling depression right now. Then it will go into Aquarius and then Pisces and then Aquarius. Aquarius is the lowest of the business cycle. So Taurus, we're slowing down. When it goes into Aries, we're speeding up that recession, depression. Pisces, and then Aquarius, the lowest on the business cycle. Then when it gets to Capricorn, we're starting to climb again. Okay, I am going to now show you the real estate bubble, the comparisons. Around March 26, 2007, we see Uranus conjunct the North Node. The North Node is now in Pisces. So in the year 2000, 1999, 1998, when all this began, and they put money into the stock market, they just threw money into the housing, and the housing went up, everything went up. That's because, again, they created money out of thin air and propped everything up. Now, coming to today where we are, and I am making this video on the 16th of June, they have no more bullets to throw at this. They have no more tools in their toolbox. What we should have went through in 1998, 2000, 2001, 2002, we're going to go through right now. So we're going to be feeling that pain. And it's not going to be fun for a lot of us. It's going to be quite scary. So I do hope you've been paying attention to my blogs and getting as ready as possible. Now I'm going to go ahead and get Saturn over here and opposite Uranus. And I'll close this down to you. Okay, around October to 2008, Saturn came in and opposite Uranus. So we are getting into this huge bubble with the real estate market. They're propping it up. Notice the North Node is in Aquarius. So depression, recession. Now, this time we're not going to have cash for clunkers. We're not going to have, if you can fog a mirror, you can buy a house. I'm not sure what other tools they can pull out of that toolbox to help. I'm thinking there isn't any more tools that they can do to this market that they can help, the people with. I'm going to say they cannot. They're out of tools. They're out of bullets. So we're going to be facing now what we should have back then. Okay, now I'm going to show you July, August, and September, what I see coming, and you're going to want to stick around. And then I want to show you what I am seeing for 2023 in the NASDAQ chart, the Fed chart, and the USA chart, because, folks, we've seen nothing yet. Okay, July 13th, 2022, we've got a full moon in the USA second house, 21 degrees Capricorn, conjunct Pluto. We also have the Uranus coming into a more closer orb aspect with the North Node in Taurus. Now, I look for the stock market to decline, and if you go back to my April, May, June, you'll see that I did state that around now. And the stock market is going to be declining further. I do see some banks in difficult territory, and I'm thinking something with taxation is going to change, or they're going to try to change it. So do be ready for that. Hopefully, again, you've gotten yourself all prepared and are all ready for this. I would have some money at home, literally stuffed in my mattresses. I would. Okay, we on July 28th, 2022, we've got a new moon in Leo. It's in the 8th house. And we also have Mercury, 18 degrees Leo in the 8th house. Mercury is squaring the North Node and Uranus and Mars. They're all coming into a conjunct together. So that's pretty scary. Oh my. So what I look for to happen, and I know that the new moon is trine Jupiter. So one can rule out the other, but we have so much negativity going on that I don't look for it to bring up the housing market. I don't look for that. So I do look for another market declining. I look for, since Pluto is involved, again, Pluto has came back to its natal position, the Pluto return. I feel, and I did right, that we're heading into to the abyss. I am seeing illnesses. I'm seeing deaths. I'm seeing it from some kind of a nervous disease, because Mercury square Mars, nervous disease. So I do feel the young's not going to be so lucky, because when Uranus, Mars, and the North Node conjunct, and we've got Mercury squaring it, it's in the 5th house. 5th house is children, speculation, risk taking. So I don't look for the young to be so lucky. I look for a lot of insanity, a lot of criminal attacks, a lot of assaults, accidents, deaths related to travel. Unexpected trouble or some kind of complications with the government. They are not fortunate. The Biden administration and the government is not fortunate. Now, I did say in my blog in 2020, October, I believe, probably before that, I'll have to look, but October, and then November, and again December. I'm pretty sure I probably started that in September of 2020. You better hope the right president is in that White House. With the wrong one in there, we're going to suffer a great deal. And we don't have the right one in there. They don't know what they're doing. We all know Biden has, I don't know, dementia, Alzheimer's, something. He is not the one that is pulling the strings. There's some others that are pulling the strings for him. Even though the news media will have you believe that the American people want this, no, my goodness, oh my gosh, no. And if you really believe Biden won the election, you have been hiding under a rock. You have not been digging for your answers. This was all done by design. And that's all I will say on that matter. Okay. All right. So what I look for with the June 28th, I look for the government to not be fortunate. I'm seeing accidents with planes, auto, railroads, possible threats for strikes, or they take place. Something related to education, because this is the house of education also for children, to be in dispute. A lot of strange cases in the courts. And when I did write this, and I'm just going to say it, when I wrote this part, the song, "We're Not Going to Take This Anymore," popped into my head. I'm not sure why that song popped into my head. That is not one of my favorite songs. I'd never listened to that song. I know of it, but it's not one of my favorites. I don't deliberately listen to it. So I'm not sure why that popped into my head. Now, jumping ahead a little bit, I just want to say, with Mars in Taurus and Mercury squaring them, with the nervous disease popping, into my head also, Mars in the sixth house is very evil, and it's going to move into the 6th house, into the sign of Gemini, and I will show you when. It'll be in August. Taurus rules Russia, White Russia. I also Googled, because I was thinking, okay, so Ukraine, I'm sure it has to, and Lord and behold, it does. It rules Ukraine. Now, White Russia is between Russia and Poland, and as of today, it does rule Ukraine. So I'm wondering what's coming out of those countries. And when Mars gets into that sixth house, into the sign of Gemini, Gemini rules the United States. So I'm just, thinking, are we going to be getting something airbound? Lungs again. I know they said COVID attacked the lungs. Maybe that'll become worse, or it's gonna be something else. But something's coming, and they might not say it until maybe the first couple of weeks in October of 2022, the last week in September of 2022. But I say something's coming then. All right. So, and it usually always does happen before they perfect. I do know that much. So perhaps it's July. So I would say, gosh, being Mercury maybe 3 or 4 degrees out before it perfected with Uranus. So always remember, before the new moons and full moons perfect, the flavors already happened. Sometimes 6, 7 to 5 days before they perfect. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go to the full moon on August 11th. Okay, I really am calling this depression territory, August 11, 2022. Full moon, 19 degrees Aquarius, conjunct Saturn, 22 degrees Aquarius, and they are square our North Node and Uranus. They are square. So, Jupiter did go retrograde. Now, when Jupiter goes retrograde, yes, you may get some of your promise, but however, you may feel cheated. So, like, say you were supposed to get a promotion and perhaps you didn't get it, or you didn't get the promotion you felt you should have gotten. You'll feel cheated. Or a raise, you felt you should have gotten a better raise, but however, you didn't get as good as raise as you thought you would have. So you feel cheated. And usually Jupiter will hit something in your natal chart 3 times. And hopefully when it does go retrograde, you do receive that promise, the full promise. But that's kind of iffy. It takes your natal chart to know, what's going on for you. So do keep that in mind. But however, okay, so the August 11th, I am calling depression territory. I do realize the news is not going to call this. I'm calling depression now, poop. Recession's already done past is what I'm saying. Now, I do see the stock market declining. I do see the Biden administration. They will have hate and despise centered directly on them. Again, get your news from a different source. I'm just telling you, get it from a different source. Wake up. So also, Saturn and Uranus are square. And in Mundun's astrology, I want you to know when Saturn and Uranus, when they do form a square or an opposition, it brings trouble to the government, to whoever's president. And right now, Biden's president. So it brings trouble to the government, the Biden administration. Also, you're seeing our national politics are in crisis. You're seeing a lot of changes that are advocated, as well as important reforms that may be suggested or could be even attempted. But I need you to know that they will either be successfully resisted, or there is the possibility of achieving them with great difficulty, although that does come with long resistance. I did just a lot of trouble with the government. The government is in disaster mode. In some cases, they are defeated. They lose ground. Some people in the government may have to resign. You see changes in the cabinet, either by they resign or death, and I'm going to call a natural death on that one. Large reforms are being advocated affecting elections, and by God, there's a difference between mail-in ballots and what is it called now? It escapes me, and I don't know why. But mail-in ballots and goodness, just a second. And absentee ballots. I don't know why I could not bring that out. There is a difference. You need to show an ID. We have to show an ID to buy alcohol, to buy cigarettes, to buy a firearm. So yeah, you need to show a valid ID. No mail-in ballots. Even Biden, back when he was younger, said how mail-in ballots would be a disaster. I mean, they all did. Come on. We know what happened. So, okay, with this full moon on August 11th, I am seeing a lot of opposition, a lot of delays, difficulty. It does center around the Biden administration and government. Women and children, I don't see faring so well. Amusement parks, recreation will suffer. Risk-taking speculation is going to suffer. And again, changes in the cabinet, either by a natural death or some will resign. So that's what we've got coming in. Okay, August 27, 2022, a new moon, 4 degrees, Virgo. Okay, notice that this new moon is in the 9th house. And the 9th house in Mundun's astrology, it does rule judges, law courts, science, commercial powers, the clergy, religion, trade and affairs, shipping, and matters to do with shipping. Okay, and it is square. See, now Mars is in Gemini. When I was talking about that airborne disease, oh my gosh, could be COVID gets worse, could be something else. I don't know. So anyway, the fourth house, the 6th house in Mundun's astrology, it does rule the working class. It rules sickness, public health, army and navy and warships is what the 6th house rules. And with this, I'm kind of feeling, and then we've got Pluto coming in to, again, make another conjunct with its natal Pluto return. Stock market declining even more so. Shipping, if you can believe it, more issues. It's going to be hindered. Merchants certainly will not be happy. Anything with risk-taking speculation of any kind, I see suffering. Now, Mars, when it does go into the 6th house, it does rule great inflammatory and feverish diseases. So, and it's in the sign of Gemini. Gemini rules the USA. So, what I did state about nervous diseases, I see it coming in stronger. And again, I'm thinking between Russia and Ukraine, and I do believe that war was started by design. And it's going to backfire. I don't know what they're thinking. So I look for accidents related to warships. I look for fires. I look for some kind of insubordination. And this has to do with sailors, the Navy, insubordination. So we'll see, how that plays out. Now, we do have, excuse me, I'm sorry. We do have a T-square going on. We've got, fixed signs going on. Venus is also opposite Saturn. So we do have some fixed signs going on. Uranus, 18 degrees. We've got some fixed signs going on right now. And as you see, Venus is also squaring Uranus. And the North Node is 16 degrees of Taurus. So we've got some really more, if you can believe it, it's going to really get crazy. Okay, going to September, I believe, 10th. We've got a full moon, 17 Pisces. We've got the sun. It's in the 3rd house. The 3rd house in Mundun's astrology, it stands for stocks as well as shares, railroads, anything that pertains to that, telephones, cell phones, postal affairs, locomotion, any means of transit, motor cars, so forth, books, computers, newspapers, the news, literary concerns. So that's what that stands for. And it is, the sun, as you can see, is opposite Neptune in a Pisces, and the moon, 17 degrees Pisces. It is opposite. So I do look for even more so stock market decline, substantial losses. I look for trade to suffer as well as travel to be hindered. Well, travel to me is hindered right now with the gas prices, but why they shut down those pipelines, those Keystone pipelines, I don't know. What were they thinking? Nobody's ready. They're not even ready for solar. Think about it. So, okay, so we're going to go to the 25th of September. All right, September 25th, 2022. We have a new moon in the sign of Libra in the USA 10th house opposite Jupiter retrograde 3 degrees in the sign of Aries. And Aries does make things speed up, go faster. So And we still have Uranus and Saturn pop back into the second house, still in square formation. So I do be careful. There could be some exaggeration in the market. You know, Jupiter's involved. Jupiter likes to make things bigger, likes to exaggerate. So do be careful of that. I do look for housing to be, I mean, we already know it's going now anyway, so it to be affected rather negatively. Any risk-taking speculation, again, I do believe is going to be highly exaggerated. So, you know, be careful of that when you start seeing this. I look for the stock market to decline. Now, I have told you about Neptune when it is conjunct the fourth house cusp opposite the midheaven. And I've stated it in other blogs. When it's afflicted as it is right now, it does cause collapse. It does cause downfall. Whenever you see a powerful planet, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, crossing over an angular house, which is the 10th, the 1st, the 4th, and the 7th, you can bet something's coming. So even when they start to aspect it, as we've been seeing, again, collapse, downfall, instability, chaotic affairs, dishonesty, drunkenness, illegal drugs, you know, usage, as well as, but not limited to various forms of crime and vice. Now, Neptune's going to be doing this off and on. We will see uprisings, as we have been, discontent, a whole lot of political instability. And again, this is going to continue for quite some time. It's not ending anytime soon. Okay, this is what I was talking about, July 17, 2023. Do look for it to come in, maybe June, maybe even sooner. I have not done the months up to this and wrote it down at least. I'm not going to go through every month, but do look for this to start in 2023. Okay, July 17th and before July 17th. We've got a new moon, 24 Cancer, in the USA 8th house, opposite Pluto, 29 degrees in the USA 2nd house. Pluto, in turn, is squaring the North Node. That is getting ready to go into Aries, okay? It's going to be speeding up. I mean, oh my gosh. Now, watch the date up here. I'm going to get the North Node into, look, July 17, 2023, North Node in Aries. 0 and 29 degrees is very critical. It's super critical. So, and then look, we've got Mars opposite Saturn. I mean, shipping, travel, oh my gosh, probably, who knows, maybe it won't even exist by then. But I haven't did too much analysis on this. I do have to sit quietly when I write my blogs and decide what I feel is going to be going on according to the planet, the sign it's in, the house it's in, what it's aspecting, and so forth, what it means. To me, this is a no-brainer. Devastating. Just devastating. Now, that's in the North Node. It is on the cusp of the 5th house. It's going to pop on over to that 4th house. And on the cusp, and the 4th house, if I didn't tell you, it's agriculture, crops, weather, land interest, houses, mines, public buildings. It is the opposition party to the government. That's what the 4th house is. So it's just not going to be ideal. It's just, my goodness, stock market, you know, bad crash. I mean, boom, we're there. Housing, boom, we're there. Like I said, when the North Node goes into Aries, it speeds it up. Okay, this is the NASDAQ chart. And I've got it on July 17, 2023, the new moon, 24 degrees inside the sign of Cancer in the 1st house of the NASDAQ chart. We've got that South Node, not the North Node. The North Node is in the 11th house. So we've got the South Node, the North Node in Taurus, 11th house on the cusp of the 4th house, right? Yeah, well, it's kind of in there already. Maybe I should just say that. But anyway, the South Node is. All right, so we've got, and I do apologize, I've got bad allergies, and I probably need to go to the doctor and get shots for them. But anyway, okay, so the North Node is 0 Taurus, very critical degree. Sorry, I've got disease on the brain, I think because of that airborne thing I'm thinking about. when I get going, I'm telling you, I am all Mercury. I am ruled by Mercury. I am a fast talker. Things come out of my mouth faster than my brain can think, and I just get mumbled, and I do apologize. Okay, so Pluto, 29 degrees, very critical degree. It is square the North Node. All right, and let's get, and the new moon is opposite of Pluto, if I didn't say that. So we're going to go ahead and get that North Node, which you'll be feeling it anyway, 29 degrees. Very critical degree. You know, the seventh house rules, excuse me, not only money from other parties, but it rules, if I didn't tell you this, foreign trade, sickness, public health, war, international disputes, and so forth. And the 11th house is the house of commons, legislators. So it's, and then noticed that Neptune popped over. Now, Neptune, if I would take this back to today, is, I believe, on the cusp. But nonetheless, things are happening. It's going to be speeding up. The North Node is in Aries. After Aries comes Pisces. After Pisces, Aquarius. I mean, we're talking depression territory. And I did show you the Great Depression and the dot-com bubble, the similarities between Uranus and Saturn squaring, Uranus conjuncting the North Node. So, again, I don't know what they would use to prop up this mess that they've created. I don't know. Will they be able to pull another rabbit out of their hat? I'm kind of doubting that. So, okay, let's go to the Fed chart. Okay, July 17, 2023, we've got the Federal Reserve chart. The North Node is in the 10th house. Okay, 0 degrees, 29 degrees, very critical. On July 17, 2023, we also have Neptune, 27 degrees retrograde inside the sign of Pisces, getting ready to come over the angular. I call them lifelines, but they're actually angular houses, very important houses. Something's going to happen. People you do business that they do business with. This is a money house also. It is a war, international disputes, sickness, public health. Goodness, what else? Foreign trade. So, and the 10th house is very extremely important. It's government, president, kings, royalty, ruling powers. So, and again, Neptune coming over, and I will, Saturn opposite, Mars, shipping house, transportation, motor, vehicles. This new moon is opposite Pluto. Pluto is squaring the North Node. The North Node is going into Aries on the 17th also. Very critical degrees. So it's not going to be fun. 2023 is going to be full-blown depression. Like I said, when Aries is involved, Aries rushes. It's me first. It goes. So I would be, really ready for this as well as for what's going on right now, as best as you possibly can be ready. I do hope that I did make that as painless as possible and you were able to stick with me to the end. I do realize I have a lot of nervous energy. Again, I'm a rising Virgo, Sun Capricorn, North Node Gemini. I've got a lot of nervous energy. And I do apologize for that. I would do more videos, but like I said, my mouth just spits it out. And sometimes I don't stop to think. I also have Mars in that first house, so I've got to be very careful. Okay. Like I said, I would be really ready for what's happening. Long time ago, you probably should have got ready, but there's nothing wrong with, getting yourself in position now. I know there are a lot of blogs and YouTubers and what have you, ringing the alarms. I know Jamie Dimon and Elon Musk also did, but a lot of us already seen this coming. They really didn't have to. So with that said, I'm going to leave it here. And if you have any questions over what I said, and sometimes I know I need to keep my opinions to myself, but I can't help it. I mean, a grandmother. I am fighting for not only my grandchildren, but my children. And I don't want them, I don't want them facing this. So we need to come together. You know, if we're divided, it's just going to get worse. There is no such thing as Republican and Democrat. There really isn't. And dig for your answers from a reliable source. I know some people think CNN and their mainstream media are reliable sources. Those are the people that are going to hurt the most. And I have blogged before on certain things such as this, and I have gotten some nasty emails like asking me to die, and I'm an idiot, and hey, what are you guys saying now? What are you saying now? Am I pretty much spot on? All right, I'm going to leave it there, and many blessings to everyone. Let me know what you thought of this video. Again, if you need me to point to a certain link to where you can look at it and maybe go down that rabbit hole, I'll be happy to. I know, again, Google is getting rid of a lot of things that used to be on Google that you can't search for now, so you have to go to a different search engine. All right, thank you, and may God be with you. Whoever you believe in, may they be with you on this journey.